All right, today's May 22nd, 2024, and I'm going to make a quick video just recapping my trades. So I came into today not expecting much. Um, there were a few potential list of first green days on my scan, but they didn't really materialize. MMV worked into the close below volume. I was buying it here in the morning as it was breaking, thinking, oh, this daily chart's super similar to FLJ, to Duo that worked really nicely the day before. But this one, the volume just never came in, never started churning, and I just basically got out for break even. I was selling all in here and then it faded off. Not something I want to be in if the volume's not there. I mean, maybe I could try it tomorrow, but I really need to see volume come back in. So that was really nothing. FFIE, I was actually buying because I was like, I don't know. It's not fading that hard. Maybe it reclaims in the morning, reclaims VWAP, and has that green day today, but it didn't. It faded off. But we are holding one, which is surprising. We're holding up better than I thought. Honestly, I thought we would be down back by 75, 50 cents by now. Have that big red day, maybe tomorrow. But also, if we're holding one, maybe it could be a nice green day. We had a nice squeeze into the close. Um, I'm not gonna predict and guess here. I'm just gonna wait and react in the morning. $1 obviously going to be very key level, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully tight risk reward type of break. I think I made like 200 bucks on this, just scalps. BNED, such a pain in the ass. Last night wrote about it. I just love this chart. Big volume, Barnes and Noble, one of those like meme potential bankruptcy stock runners like a Hertz or a Bed Bath and Beyond type of name, and the volume basically told the story. With this much volume at this price in this market environment where things are running, low price volume runners are just running hard, I said, this could be a good one. I wanted it to gap, dip by it versus 54 cents, and if the volume sustains, add in for a spike and see how high it could go. Sadly it gapped up a lot. I was dip buying in the morning. Bought it here, cut it, and then it worked, which is normally the case, but it is what it is. Shit happens. I did end up dip buying down here for a nice gain, a little over, I think, 1,500 gain, dip buying it at 90 cents, selling it on the push over one. And when there's liquid names like this, trading all this volume, they kind of remind me of OTCs back in like 2021, 2020, I think it was, where they would just have so much volume and I could be dip buying, scalping all day. So I bring that mentality to the table. Plays like FFIE, BNED, when the liquidity's there, when the volume's there, I scalp the volatility. And that's just something that's been in me forever, ever since OTCs. And I see that it works very nicely. Now, I wish I really nailed this dip here and was really thinking, oh, okay, let's start building in versus 54. And if it fails, we'll just cut it. I mean, with this much volume, it's most likely going to spike back. Just such a nice spike. Really messed up there. Really didn't catch that one. Um, and then another one I really messed up on was CRKN. I had like 200,000 shares down here. It perked. It came back down. FFIE started fading again. CRKN's a sympathy. And I was like, I'm just going to cut it. Cut it. And then it just ends up running like crazy. Really big miss on my part, which sucks, but it is what it is. The one thing that I want to emphasize is volume trumps all. It didn't matter what FFIE was doing, didn't matter what anything was doing. All that mattered was that the volume was coming in, the volume was churning in. This thing trades so much damn volume that it was most likely going to do something. And had a really nice move. It is what it is. Wasn't my main watch, wasn't on my watch list, but I just noticed it when I thought, maybe FFIE could bounce. CRKN's the next best sympathy, but still definitely on watch for a play because it closed pretty weak. To me, it basically closed red. I mean, up 3%, nothing. So keep an eye on it. When FFE truly has its bounce, I think this could go with it. That being said, though, I tried to go with SINT after that CRKN run, but this one just didn't want to move. I bought it, it cracked, I sold it, I rebought it, I sold it, it was just one of those pain in the ass ones where I said, I might as well just leave it alone. I sold it all, right in here. We just couldn't break out. It was so heavy. had that hidden size on the ask. I just didn't want to deal with it. But I did take a nice gain because I did have, shares from a decent average down here at like 0.095, think like 150,000, and it just couldn't go, and it is what it is. No big deal. Um, and then that was it. I said, that's my day. Missed out on the BNED, big dip buy, and CRKN, big spike, but I still locked in a pretty solid profit around 2 grand on the day, and I, called it a day. I walked away. I was done. I relaxed, did other things I had to do on the day. But then I came back just to check in the afternoon, and I saw GME here. What did I write? I have it over here. I said, interesting. At 2:21 p.m., it was hugging VWAP, holding the morning lows. The dips were getting bought back up compared to yesterday when they would just dip and fail. And I said it had a chance to break highs and go green. And that was right around, where was it? Well, right after it spiked here at 2:20, basically that same minute it spiked, I said that this was the trend change potential. I gave it a shot. And when I saw this spike, I bought AMC. AMC has just been relatively a stronger name, and I got a great average down here at 455. I got 24,000 shares because I said, this, if this is it, it's gonna be it. It's gonna run. The risk reward's great. I already made 2 grand, 2 grand on the day. So if I lose, I'm basically break even. I said, screw it. I'm gonna push my size on, a really nothingness day, and just go for it. Started spiking. I took half off immediately because I was like, okay, I am in a lot more size than I'm comfortable with. And then it ended up spiking, really pushing hard, and I was selling the rest over five, not the rest, but another 50% over $5. I noticed GME got really weak into the close, so I said, my thesis was GME and AMC should move together, and at this point, GME's failing, going all the way back down towards the low. So why even bother staying in AMC, even though it's relatively strong to GME? I said, let me just take my gains and move on. So I sold it all after hours, above 5 as we were cracking. I said I'd rather lock it in and try on the true day if these ever decide to really, really spike. No reason to be guessing overnight when GME kind of ruined my thesis there. But that was really it. Um, And I've been doing well, locking in good gains. That was about, let's see here, that was just over an 11,000 gain on the day. Really, most of that was from AMC, just really sizing up. But yeah, I'm doing nothing different. I'm just taking more size, number one, because I have a good cushion because I've been doing very well this month. Number two, because the market is allowing it. The market has given me liquid plays, multi-day runners, good patterns. So when the liquidity's there, I could scale up accordingly. And really, I'm just going through the same process, same pattern, same plays, same discipline I always do, with a big emphasis on risk reward. And also a big emphasis on if a play is not working quickly and without question in this market for me when it should, I'm normally just cutting right away. Greatest example today is SINT. It just wasn't working quickly, so I just cut it. I said, fuck it. I'm done with it. Let's leave it alone. When something like AMC's working, even though GME wasn't the strongest, and they were, my thesis was they were run together. When it's working, I was sticking with it. I was trying to hold out the best I could, and that was it. So yeah, when the liquidity's there, I could size up. When I have the cushion too, because I've been doing well and have good profits on the month, I could also size up. And that's it. Patterns, process, discipline. The one thing I will say, when this party does stop and the liquidity dries up and gets sucked out of the market, who knows, that might happen, into the summer when trading tends to be slower months. But when the party stops and the music's done, I'm out the door before those lights come on, because it's going to be real scary if you stick around. If you're still using the same size, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. You're going to do dumb things. So definitely need a reset once things change. But until then, I'm going to keep pushing it when the liquidity's there and the patterns are there for me.